Grand Rise, Willie Whittle, It Shall Be Dope. This is the podcast. Let's get into it. So, I woke up today with some stuff on my heart, mainly because this week has been it's been a hell of a week for being a dad. Just being a parent. Last week I put my kids under this contract, which I know some people might look and say like that's kind of cruel or whatever. But the contract is simple. It's to make sure that we create this foundational space that we don't keep leapfrogging over and I keep getting misunderstandings about it. So it's just a base understanding of this is our foundation, and from here we want to grow and just continue to do better, right? So that's the game plan. This week has been, trying because testing the limits and testing the strength of the contract versus testing the strength of what we have in place, and still being able to show the proper fatherly love and care that I always do, right? The best that I got. It's always a up and down, roller coaster, right? So the point that I'm making is it's been a bittersweet week, right? But obviously, when dad mode is activated, you got to do what you got to do. So we've had some things happen this week that were needing to be addressed, and we've had some things that are giving me like all the feels, right? All the feels. So I woke up this morning with on my heart with, man, to be a dad and to love being a dad, it takes a lot. And I'm not saying a lot of people don't know what it looks like or what it feels like or what it takes, because parenting is one of those things like when you embrace it, like it's real. But for me, I'm gonna tell my story today, like which I always do. To me, being a parent means so much more. I love all my babies with passion, and we know that. And as I walk down my road to peace, I got to show them how to walk down their roads too. I didn't realize how much of a parent I learned how to be until I really sat and realized like who my dad was and who my dad is, because my dad is still here. Who my dad is. We sit back, and I remember, when I was getting older, my parents arguing and stuff and going through whatever they went through. And I'm saying stuff like, man, I never want to be like them. Never want to be like them, right? And that was one of my driving forces to be like, man, I don't want to be like them, which people can easily identify what they don't want to be like. But then what's the image of what you do want to be like? So trying to create this generational black privilege in my household, because in order to create privilege, you have to pass something down. You have to create something that's able to be passed on. So I'm trying to create something that can be passed on, create this privilege in my house where they understand that they don't have to start from the bottom. They can take the opportunity that they have and move forward, right? I realized that my dad was trying to do that for me and us, my brother and sister, and my brother rest in heaven, right? But he was trying to do that for us. And he's always been that kind of guy. He's always been the person who does what he can with the tools that he has and still try to provide something for us. One story I remember specifically, which is actually pretty funny now that I'm thinking about it, because I got this jersey behind me, and I remember when Shaq first came into the league, right? And I wanted a Shaq jersey so bad. Wanted a Shaq jersey. I mean, I was a big dude and I played basketball. I mean, to me, Shaq was that one, right? So my mom didn't like they could not fathom how they would have the money to get me a Shaq jersey. And back then, Shaq jerseys was like $40. I'm talking about the replica joint that was like, it was $40, and it was like, oh man, how we gonna get this jersey? Like they was really thinking about it, like trying to figure it out. But they didn't tell me that. I just said I wanted one. And then that was it. I left it alone. Well, on this one day, my mom came and I think she went to whatever department store she used to shop at all the time. She went there and they had these Shaq t-shirts. And she buys me 2 of these Shaq t-shirts, which was really cool shirts. Like, I love the shirts. So she presents me with these shirts, right? And my dad goes and he went down to the sporting goods store, the store, I think it was wherever it was. I didn't know where it was. I was a kid. And he comes up with the Shaq jersey. He pulled out the Shaq jersey out this bag. And I go ballistic. I'm like, oh, snap. This is the jersey. And look at that. Oh, this is crazy. And I remember the look that they gave each other as I was celebrating. Because they was like, first of all, we ain't got money for both of this. Like we ain't got money for the shirts and the jersey. And they're looking and my mom was kind of upset about it. She was like, you should have talked this through with me, but my dad wanted it to be a surprise because he knew what I wanted, right? And my mom wanted it to be a surprise, so they both did what they could to make me happy. And those are the things that, people kind of try to, like, we miss it talking about our struggle stories sometimes, but these are the times that actually, like, really define us. Like, so they did what they could to give me what I wanted. Because what I wanted was simple, and I did everything that I was supposed to do, right? But I specifically remember my dad in that moment saying, like, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it because he earned it, right? And I'm like, man, that's what it means to be a parent. Like, no matter what has gone down, no matter what you have to go through, like, you still provide. And it's, as I look back on more powerful statements, one of the other ones that I want to share that, like, literally touched my heart was when my wife passed. And when she died, it was like I had just went back to work. I was in work probably 4 days or whatever. So I'm in the office and I'm fragile. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm fragile. I'm in there like people coming in there talking to me and stuff, which is cool. Come talk to me, right? But I remember being in the office by myself, kicking it. And my dad called me out of the blue, checked on me. So I answered the phone. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he was like, listen, how you doing? I'm cool, Dad. Like, I'm back at work, just trying to figure it all out, to be honest with you, because I got to work. I got to do everything. And, it is what it is, right? So he told me a story. And it wasn't much of a story. It was more like a statement of who he was, right? And it was, my dad, my grandfather, Mr. Whittle, right? He was like, my dad lost his wife about 37, 38 years old, about the same time you lost yours. And I seen him raise all of us. And it's 7 of them, if I'm not, I got 7 of them, right? He said, I seen him raise all of us. And it wasn't easy. But he did it because he was Mr. Whittle, and he got it done. He had that strength about him. And he was like, as I watched you grow up, I see that strength in you, and I know you could do it. And I'm like, tears. First of all, like, tears. I'm broke. Like, he broke me immediately, right? Because that was one of the deepest things that he's ever said to me. But my dad wasn't really a deep dude, but he was always, like, present. He always wanted to be present, and he always wanted to showcase the care and love that dads are supposed to showcase. But it was just different because I had to really sit back and realize, like, through my lineage, the fathers in my bloodline have been taught and designed to be strong. This is not by accident. Like, I know in my heart, in my blood, how to be a good father. My dad is a great father. his dad was a great father. This is in my lineage. We're passing this down. We have created, this lineage has created privilege to be a father. So it's super dope to just sit back and think about like all of the thoughts, the bittersweets, the man, I gotta do this discipline and it's gonna suck because they're not gonna like me. To dad, you're the best, and getting, the gifts that you get on Christmas with the hands and the paint and everything, and even when they get older and they say, thanks, Dad, I appreciate what you gave me. And building this relationship ongoing is so dope because it's already in our blood. Like, it's in my blood to be a good dad. You know what I mean? So I love my pops. I love my dad. I love Willie Whittle Sr. It's my dad. I'm blessed to be able to just continue on the care legacy that the Whittle family provides. He did as much as he could with what he knew. And I think that's what we all do. But we really need to appreciate the fact that we're doing everything that we can with what we know. Like, it's not easy, but it's life. It's life, and it's what we do. So overall, I got some bittersweet moments coming up, man. Like, it's life-changing things for my family, my daughter, my sons, trying to get everybody just into a better place. And then right before the holidays, like, we got Christmas and New Year's getting ready to come up. So we just do the best that we can with what we got. And if you got that dad dog in you, you know what I'm saying? That I want to be a great father, or even being a great mother. Like, I'm not denouncing any mothers or anything. I'm just giving tribute to my pops and my lineage right now. But when you are designed to be the parent because you know the human that you've created depends on you, and you know what that means, you know what that responsibility feels like, then that's the effort and love that you exert and you radiate. And people appreciate that. People love that. Like, that's why it's so compelling to be able to talk to other people who've walked different paths of life, but they're still pushing for that same level of love and peace that we all crave. So, point of my story, right? Point of it all is keep doing us and keep doing what you do. I did actually sit down and learn to be a good father. I was taught properly how to be a good father. I have to understand and sit down and accept that there's always going to be times, trials, tribulations where you feel like something beats you down. And sometimes the negative outweighs the positive. But if you really sit down and sift through what helped build you to be who you are, you'll probably realize that I learned something that was very valuable to me. And as my critical thinking and my pivot skills increased, it reverted back to what I learned, and then I just amplified that into the place that I need to be. So I'm very grateful for the childhood that I had. I was talking to one of my colleagues the other day, and we talked about the changes that we were supposed to be making. I told him, I said, to be honest, man, where I'm at, I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. I feel like there's multiple things that's gotten me here, but sometimes I feel like the space that I'm in, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I'm a hood kid from Cincinnati, like, but what's dealt in my cards was greater than who I was. But if you roll it all in together and then you create this person who's Willie Whittle now, it's who I am. And who I am can't be denied. Like, who I am is something that is a person who can walk in the rooms and be himself authentically and still be able to progress, grow, inspire, impact. So it's not one of the things that you need to sit on as negative because of like, hey, this is what my past looks like, but this is who I am. This is the present. The man in front of you now, may have something on him now that showcases this is me, right? But inside, everything inside your mind is priceless, priceless, because you need it. You need it to navigate. You needed to push through. You needed to grow. You needed to spark the match to inspire the next. So, as me and my man talked, we gotta continue to spark the match. And given what we had, appreciate it. Don't say like, man, we was here and it's down bad. Like, appreciate it, because that's what fuels the fire to spark the match. I appreciate you, Dad. You helped spark the match. I'm taking the fuel so I can spark multiple other matches. But thank you. I love you. We're going to continue to walk down this path to peace. And as long as we do it with love in our hearts, it shall be dope. Thank y'all. Have a good one.